Welcome to the Uncommon CEO podcast, where we unpack the mindset, skills, and wisdom it takes to become an uncommon leader in a common world. With your host, the Uncommon CEO himself, Andrew Smart.
Welcome to the next episode of the Uncommon CEO podcast. Andrew, what's on your mind?
Well, I'm glad to be back with you again, and I'm back here again with my Uncommon CEO, cocktail glass with water.
Mm-hmm.
Not that, I enjoy a nice cocktail, but it's a cocktail glass with water, and I really enjoy having these official brand, you know, and so, brand's important.
Yeah, like we talked about on one of our last episodes.
It's branding. Really, we've talked about branding in different ways, but branding is who you are.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks to who you are, what you're about, what you value. Okay, but that is, and you really look at people that, you either trust a brand or you don't, right?
Yeah.
Usually when you go buy a car, you tend to stick into areas of, I trust that brand.
Yeah, absolutely. You see the same top sellers every year, whether it's based on looks or based on safety. People have that connection and trust is important.
Well, I have, my friends who, you're a truck guy.
Yeah.
So I have my friends who are truck guys. I like trucks, and I drive, a Lincoln SUV. But I know the guys that they will only buy Ford, or the guys that only buy Chevy, and that's where they're at. And so I can't remember what kind of truck do you have?
I have Ram 1500.
So
now.
Dodge guys.
Yeah, I did have a Tundra, so I might not be the best example
Toyota,
of the loyalty to it. But yeah,
but I know people who are loyal to Dodge. That's what they buy.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So brand is important. Trust is important, and that trust, I think, is essential to every aspect of life.
Mm-hmm.
It is that you don't want to work with people you can't trust, right?
True.
You don't want to drive a vehicle you can't trust, right?
Sure don't want to be found on the side of the road broken down.
Yeah, I tell you, you don't want to eat something you don't trust, right?
Maybe more so than any of the things we spoke of. Yeah.
Trust is I think the core foundation to anything great.
Mm-hmm.
And you can never be great if you lack trust. I want to talk on a topic today, a leadership topic that surrounds three words.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I kind of learned these words. I know the words, and you're going to know the words. But I learned a leadership lesson from another leader on these words, and I was like, that's really profound.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to thinking about it in my life, in my experiences, my interactions with others. And I'm like, wow, that really does play out in so many areas of life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked this to a friend recently if they could guess what are the three most powerful words that you could put together, when any aspect of your life that says, hey, if you want to be highly effective and you want to be highly influential, what are the three most powerful words?
And I know this because we've talked about it before, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Now, for the listener out there, they might think, I don't know, that's your three most powerful words, because it doesn't sound very powerful coming out, does it?
No, it sounds, if anything, a little scared in a way.
It does. And sometimes it's like asking your children, what happened? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That drives you nuts. Does with me.
Oh, yeah. They seldom know when they've done something wrong.
I promise you, I don't know what it is. It's like every child is wired with that phrase.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What happened to the cookies? I don't know.
Where'd you put your shoes last?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Moms always seem to know where the shoes are, though.
Yeah, it seems to be.
I know that with my children and their mother, like my daughter, especially in the school year, she's like, I don't know where my shirt is. And so the mom just always seems to know where things are.
True.
I don't know how they have that gift, but it's like they do. But I don't know. Like I said, I listened to another leader talk on this, and I'm like, that is profound. I don't know. Because I don't know is more than that child statement, I don't know. It is a really powerful statement.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about is power is power is used good and bad. And so I think about, as a CEO, as a leader of an organization, I don't know is one that I think people often get so afraid of.
Yeah, I've seen it.
They're afraid to come into a meeting and get asked a question and they say, I don't know. And so what happens often in business, just like in life, is that when people are afraid of I don't know, they end up saying things or putting out information that leads to worse circumstances and scenarios than if they had just said, boss, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Because if I'm sitting in a meeting, or if I'm going to you or someone else and I'm asking a specific question about a specific issue, and you look at me and an honest statement says, I don't know, okay, that allows me to decide how do I want to go about it, because I've gone to Matt, he says he doesn't know. Then I can follow up with a question, okay, well, Matt, you don't know, but do you happen to know someone who might know?
Or probably the best follow-up to I don't know is, I don't know, but I can find out.
That's even a better one.
Out.
Yeah, I can figure it out. But too often, people are so afraid I don't know ends up putting an organization or people in a bad spot. It's like going to the doctor, and this is how I kind of heard about it from this leader. It's going to the doctor, okay? And you know you're dealing with something, and you know you're not feeling well, and the doctor just keeps trying things out on you, okay, and experimenting kind of in different ways. Whereas if the doctor said, you know, Matt, I don't know, it allows you then to say, well, maybe I need to go to another doctor and find out if they know.
Yeah,
because there's nothing worse than being a human experiment, right?
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
I don't want to go to my doctor and I got this skin rash, and the doctors, you say, well, you know, this cream will work, and then it doesn't work. Then go back to this cream. You know, when the doctor could have easily said, Andrew, I don't know, but let me get you scheduled with a dermatologist.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I've learned in life, and I've experienced in life, whether it's doctors, lawyers, you know, different type professionals, I have found that people don't like saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's one, we talk about the fear of how it'll be received, but I think people also have an arrogance.
Yeah, they want to be perceived as the expert, and I don't know lessens their credibility in others' minds.
Yes, I know people this way. You know, Matt, do you know the first step to knowledge is embracing ignorance? Before I can become knowledgeable of something, I have to accept I'm ignorant on something. Yeah, and then, because if I'm willing to embrace, hey, you know, I don't have knowledge in this area, then I have a choice that says, okay, but I can learn. But if I live in my life in the mentality and I trick myself and says, hey, I know everything there is to know, then I'm automatically causing harm.
Yeah, that's how you make mistakes, is assume your knowledge is enough to get by rather than learning what it takes to truly succeed.
And here's the thing that happens within organizations on I don't know. You know, we operate in the food business, and one of the things that we do monthly and quarterly is we do what was called an SQF, which is basically we run this scenario practice. If an event was to happen, what are the steps and stages that we're going to handle it? And we run, you know, like I said, we run these tests and scenarios because one of the most dangerous things is for people to lack knowledge and be on a consistent page, right?
Absolutely. I mean, when you play with food safety, there's no wiggle room.
And what I need throughout the organization when we run a scenario like that is everyone's got to be working off the same script. There's got to be a consistent cadence in the messaging. And if I have people who aren't on the same script or lack the knowledge, then we run a huge risk of the wrong information getting out.
Mm-hmm.
And when the wrong information gets out in our world of business, just like others, it can be highly detrimental. So being able to control the message, give clarity so that people, that are not stuck in that I don't know is essential to our, ability to operate as an organization.
Yeah.
Coming back to I don't know as individuals, I think that that part of life is all about growing, gaining knowledge. So every day I wake up with a mentality that I want to go to bed today knowing something that I didn't know this morning.
Yeah. It's a good way to look at life.
I think it's an important way to look at life, because every day that I can go to bed and said, hey, I learned something I didn't know, to me, that's a successful day.
Mm-hmm.
In the days that if I can't say that, then I feel like I've wasted the day.
Yeah, it's just 1% better in the compound effect of that.
It is. And that's a life journey of learning, growing, being able to become a better version. But it starts out every morning realizing there's something I don't know. So, Matt, building on I don't know, tell me how that's played out in your life.
I believe this job specifically, I remember being asked some questions that I wasn't very experienced with and was able to say in the job interview, I don't know, but I can learn that. I like to learn new things and continue to grow my mind and grow my skills and all that. So, the I don't know leads to knowledge in a lot of ways, where I've taught myself how to work in a wood shop or on arcade machines or things like that. And by not knowing how to do the next step, we've got a world full of information to expand your mind that you can learn from and build and grow. And you just get a little bit better every time. It's the honing of the blade, where you learn the skills, you hone them, you get better and better, and you learn when you run into those I don't know moments. So I don't know has caused me to grow what I want to learn is probably the biggest part. And then from a business standpoint, dealing with people who don't know how to say I don't know has always been kind of a slippery slope, I've found, where, I worked with somebody else that was in a research and development type role, and I could tell when they didn't know, but they would come up with an answer regardless. And when you do that, that's dangerous. If you're giving out information that isn't known and accurate and implementable, it can derail a whole project. So somebody who isn't willing to say, I don't know, can really take you off track if you don't watch out.
Or what if they do know and they say, I don't know?
Yeah, absolutely. Where if they're too scared to use their knowledge base, that's a problem as well.
It is. It's extremely. So I look at, those two scenarios. I also look at people who sometimes do exactly what we said our kids do. They live behind I don't know because they don't want to take the effort to know.
Yeah, or the responsibility that comes with it.
Yeah, they hide out. Mm-hmm. I don't know is also a way to hide.
Yeah.
I mean, and so you're right. We should, it's like you were talking about woodwork. When you first started doing that kind of work, you didn't know probably anything.
I still see my mistakes on some of my older stuff around the house. So yeah.
Like doing this podcast, okay? I watch a lot of podcasts, listen and learn. Mm-hmm. But until we got doing this, there's a lot of things I didn't know.
Yeah.
Didn't know how I would really sound. Mm-hmm. Didn't know how everything would really come together. So the beginning stage of growth is all in that I don't know. The biggest thing is, while I don't know is always going to be a part of our life because none of us can know everything, and being able to own that statement, but it can't be a statement you live in.
Sure.
It has to be a statement that you always have, but are always working to, okay, I don't know that today, but by the end of the day, I'm going to know. Mm-hmm. I don't know that this morning, But by the end of the, I mean, that's how it should progress. And it doesn't always happen, in one day, but it should be, kind of that journey of I don't know should turn into I know. And then it goes into a statement, this statement I've heard a long time ago in my life, but I love this kind of statement quote. It's not what you know, it's what you do with what you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes the difference. And so when we can move past, okay, I don't know, but here's what I do know, and here's what I'm willing to do with what I know, that's when we break barriers. What I wanted to talk about was that statement and how I see that statement play out in all aspects of our life, business, journey. And the thing is, if you're going to be uncommon, you've got to clearly understand what you don't know.
Thanks for joining us today on the Uncommon CEO podcast. Subscribe to our show wherever you get podcasts. We have video episodes on our YouTube channel and more uncommon wisdom on our social media. Find all our links and resources at uncommonceopodcast.com. For Andrew Smart and all of us here at the Uncommon CEO, stay uncommon.